What's up, guys? It's your boy Bilo back again, and I tell you what, these last few weeks have been a challenge for me. As you know, lived in Houston for the last almost 3 years, so 32 months, so 4 months shy of 3 years. Worked in the oil business, and that's just where my job took me. I then decided to relocate to the Dallas, Plano, Frisco area, actually living in the colony. My wife's family lives here in Plano, and my family still lives back in Midland, Odessa. So the travel time for me to visit my family was impossible at 8 hours of car driving. And now from Dallas to Midland, Odessa, it's only like 4 hours. So it's easier for me to get home. That's kind of how I justify the move. I ended up quitting my job and relocating myself here, So with the help of, family members, we were able to, get all the money we needed to move here and sell a lot of guitars and stuff like that to get all of it done here. Break a lease and start a lease here in Dallas. And so we're happy to be here. And in the middle of all of that, I had a job interview August 22nd and accepted the job in the last week of August. And right then and there, on the Friday of, I believe, the 28th, my wife and I had already scheduled some time to come to Dallas from Houston to do some house hunting, right? And so we had scheduled out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to find a house apartment. We were planning on living in Flower Mound, but that just kind of wasn't going to happen. And there was a lot of resistance there. And then we tried Louisville, and that was no, Louisville's bad. And then we looked in Plano, and Plano actually wasn't too bad. Her family lives right in Plano, in the center of Plano, so it was actually ideal to be there. And then so we ended up moving towards the colony, and we found the perfect place in the colony. So Austin Ranch Apartments, Thousand Oaks is where we're at. And we're really happy to be here. It's a really beautiful place. It's a great campus. Look it up, Austin Ranch. It's amazing. Anyways, with that being said, I started a new job this last week, Monday on the 11th in Arlington. So my commute from the colony to Arlington is about 30 minutes, but it's not too bad. I've done worse in Houston. In fact, in Houston, my commute was anywhere from 15 miles, and it would take me 45 minutes to an hour and a half to go 15 miles in Houston. Absolutely unacceptable. Anyways, on August 28th, we had scheduled time off to come here, my wife and I, and we were house hunting. And right then is when the Hurricane Irma hit, right? No, it was Harvey. Hurricane Harvy hit the Houston area. And so we ended up being stranded here in Dallas for, so Friday, and we didn't go home till Wednesday night. So we were stuck here for almost 6 days total because of the hurricane, because I-45 South was shut down. So there was going to be no way for us to get to our place in the Woodlands where we lived. It was just going to be impossible because I believe I-45 was shut down around Huntsville because of water on the road. I mean, horrific flooding. And fortunately for us, our apartment that we lived in, the apartment complex we lived in, was up on a hill, and there was no water flooding in the complex. None of the buildings got flooded. And in addition to that, we lived on the second floor, so it's not like we were going to get flooded anyways, right? So really high ceilings. So I would venture a guess that the floor of my apartment on the second floor is probably 20 feet above the ground. Anyways, with that being said, we didn't get flooded, and the only worry we had was we had left our cats here in Dallas, or in Houston. We had left them in our apartment because we didn't travel with them to Dallas to go look for an apartment, obviously. And after about 5 days, you can leave cats alone with enough litter and water and food. And I always, when I travel, leave 13 bowls of water and 15 bowls of food out. And the litters, I got 4 litter boxes for them, and they're good. They don't have to worry about them too much. And so, getting on about Monday and Tuesday, I started getting worried. Wednesday, I was really worried, but that's when they opened up I-45, and a lot of the flooding had receded in the Houston area. So we were able to make it back to Houston, and not too bad of a deal. But I tell you what, when we left Houston on, I believe it was the 28th, on the Friday, right? When we left Houston at lunchtime, so 11 to 12-ish, it was already backing up. The evacuation for the smart people had already begun, and we had just caught the ass into that, and there was wrecks on the highway, like a 5-lane highway. There was wrecks and pile-ups and people standing on the highway and waiting for tow trucks and cops and all that kind of thing. And we're driving in my Jeep on our way to Dallas, and we're just trying to get out of there as best as possible. And there were several times when I had to get off the road to get around the wrecks, because then the highway bottlenecks in the 2 lanes, and then that kind of thing. And so we had to get off the road and go through the grass and through some ditches just to get back on the highway. And finally it cleared up on the other side of Huntsville. And we just hit 100 miles an hour just to get out of that because it was insane. I mean, I could see in my rearview mirror miles of cars backed up, and it was just horrific. So, my thoughts and prayers go out to all those people who are still dealing with that and had to go through that. And like I said, fortunately, I feel terrible saying this, fortunately for us, we didn't have to go through that directly. We were in Dallas, and so we weren't necessarily a part of all that drama. And when we came back on Wednesday, most of the town was flooded and all that stuff. Didn't end up going to work till Monday. I worked from home Thursday and Friday, right? So I mean, it was just a big deal, And in the middle of all that, I'd accepted the job and started the break from my previous job, right? So I worked in the old business for a pretty large company, and we just told them, hey, I got 2 weeks notice, so here it is, I'm out, bye. And because of the hurricane and all that stuff, I only ended up working 2 days of that 2 weeks notice, unfortunately, like physically at the workplace. And it is what it is. That's just what happens. That's called an act of God, and I can't change that. And so I ended up having my last day of work on September 6th, Wednesday, and we packed up and moved here on the 8th, Friday, September 8th, and got here in Dallas, a 3.5-hour drive, and here we are. And so now it's the 14th or the 15th now that I'm making this video, and I finally got my studio set up. My wife uses this part of the studio for her makeup studio, and I use this part of the studio for my guitar studio. So, a lot of downsizing. You guitar guys out there know you have a lot of cables. You have a lot of old patch cables that are dead and just a lot of stuff. And I tell you what, man, I had boxed up 120 boxes, and I threw a lot of stuff away. I mean, we donated probably 20 to 30 trash bags full of clothes. I mean, we're just bad hoarders, my wife and I, to be perfectly honest. I mean, we're talking everything from jackets to clothes and towels and shoes. So many shoes. Oh my God, shoes. And like blankets and all kinds. We just donated so much. We donated my couches. I had listed my couches on Facebook Sell, right? The Facebook Marketplace. And within 1 minute of listing my couches, free, by the way, free couches, come get them. I don't have a truck. I don't have a trailer. You have to come get these yourself. Within 2 or 3 minutes of listing that, my phone had blown up with 45 requests. And that was like on Wednesday or Thursday when I'd listed my couches. And so much so that when I opened to go to my Facebook app on an iPhone 7 Plus, when I opened the Facebook app to get to the marketplace, it crashed my entire phone. And so by the time the phone recycles off and then recycles back on, I had 150 something requests for these couches, right? I mean, people were devastated. And I'll show you a picture of the people who I actually gave my couches to right here. That was their house. Beyond the trees there, you see it. That was their house. And so their house was completely gone. And that was a mile away from my apartment, by the way. That's how high and dry my apartment was compared to everyone else. And it's all based on that river there, the Spring Creek. And they had built on an alluvial plain all these housing. And every time it floods there, man, all those houses are gone. And I mean, it's just a horrific tragedy, everything that happened there. And like I said, we're very fortunate to be out of Houston now, and now we're in Dallas, and we've started our jobs. And my wife, she just transferred her company to this company here, same company. She works retail. They weren't going to like fire her or anything, right? And so, since Friday the 8th that we've been here, it's now like the 15th or the 14th or the 16th. I don't know what day it is actually. I've just been unboxing, cleaning, and setting up the studio. I finally got my foam up. I finally got my guitar wall hangers up. I got my amps up. And I didn't plug any of the amps up, and the reason why is because we use Helix Native here. So I am all about Helix Native. I have these amps. I'm probably not going to plug them in. They're not even plugged in. They don't even have cables. They don't have power cables connected to them. They're just up here like props. These are my tube amps, right? I downsized a lot of tube amps. I downsized a lot of pedals while we were leaving Houston. Like I said, I was raising money. I sold probably 15 to 20 pedals and made over a couple of grand. And in fact, in the process of doing that, I was able to get enough cash to buy this. And so I bought this brand new from Guitar Center right there on I-45. Thank you, Ronnie Main, the Guitar Center store manager there. Awesome guy, by the way. Gave me a great deal on this Classic Vibe. So this is one of those Squire Classic Vibes. Yep, you can see the foil and the name tag there. These things are amazing. Check out the wiring on this. I took some pictures on it. The only thing I've done to it is I put a fat screamer. It's a fat Strat is what it is. So it's the Dragonfire fat Strat in the neck. I put that on all my single Strat guitars, and it's amazing. This guitar has a lot of mojo. It's I took some steel wool to the back. Triple O's grit to get down to wood to get that gloss off. And it's just amazing. This is a fabulous guitar. I'm really late to the party on this, but I'd always wanted one of these Classic Vibes. This was the one I wanted for going on 5 years now since they started coming out. And I finally got one. I bought it cash money up there at a Guitar Center with money I sold pedals for. I traded a pedal for this guitar right here, this Daphne Blue Telecaster. I mean, not Telecaster, Stratocaster. So this is a part Strat. The body is just, you know, whatever type of Squire, and the neck is like a it's either a Warmoth or a Guitar Fetish neck, and it has a Guitar Fetish pickup in the neck. And I put some pickups in there. I was able to get this guitar off of another pedal trade, and that was awesome. And this is an amazing Telecaster. So this is another parts caster. So these are both like no casters right here. And the neck on that has that vintage tint on it, and it has a single coil just in the bridge. And so I'm going to get a new scratch plate that has room for a neck, and I'm going to get the Dragonfire Telly Screamer set, right? Fat Tellys. I'm going to get that set for this guitar. I'm so excited. So this is Daphne Blue, and then this is like your Tiffany green, you know, your aqua green color. And then, of course, on my birthday, I had put this guitar together. So that's a Korean neck right there. And then, of course, the red sparkle Strat Squire body, you know. So, you know, within 30 days, I picked up all 4 of these guitars. And I have another one in my closet over here that I'm going to put together. And that's going to be, it's a Jaguar. And I'm going to like paint that pink. And so it's going to be like a pale powder pink Jaguar with proper P90s in it, right? It's going to be a fabulous guitar. I might put the Dragonfire H90s I have some H90 Dragonfires that have a pearloid color cover to them, and so I might put those in that once I get it painted pink. And so, you know, maybe in a couple of weeks you'll see that guitar come out. So yeah, that's what's, you know, kind of an update on what's going on with me. Still rocking the Helix Native. Absolutely love it, because in the middle of a move, when you have everything boxed up and everything packed up, but you have your laptop, you have your guitar, a cable, some headphones, and your little interface, right? The Helix Native will get you through the night. So you want to play guitar and you only got 20 minutes to do so, and everything in the house is boxed up. I'll show you a picture of all my boxing. Of course, your laptop's always the last thing you pack up, of course, with your phone, laptop, power cables, that kind of thing, maybe some Bluetooth speakers, and your favorite guitar, and that was this guitar. This guitar rode with me on the way from Houston to Dallas, because this is now my new baby. But I have to say, this one has one of those really big tone blocks in it, GFS, really monstrous tone blocks inside of the tremolo, and it's absolutely a tone monster. Oh my God, that guitar sounds amazing. Just by itself, naked, it vibrates the whole house. It has so much resonance. And then this guitar right here is so hollow on the inside. I think it's an entire hollow body, because it weighs nothing, and it sounds like, you know, those Squire Classic Vibe Telecasters that have the F-hole and they're really loud and pronounced acoustically. That's what that one sounds like. So yeah, I just got everything plugged up and wired up, and through moving, I was able to downsize a lot of stuff. I sold a lot of pedals, and I'm going to sell more pedals on my Facebook marketplace. So if you're in the DFW area, man, be on the lookout. So maybe sometime next week I'll post up probably about 50 or 60 pedals that are still for sale, because I don't need them anymore. I use my Helix Native, my Helix right here, LT, and then my Native on my laptop, and it's like the best thing in the world. I mean, you just don't need anything. Right now I'm running through a tweed patch, as you can see right here. I'll pull up the screen. It's my it's my Tweed Blues normal. It sounds amazing through all my guitars. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I've had a video up, and the reason why is because I was doing that move. And so, you know, being the guy that I am, the moment I accepted the job, that day I bought like 150 boxes, and I just started boxing everything up, all the pedals, all the guitars, all the cables, throwing shit away, and because, you know, stuff you don't use anymore, and then selling all these pedals. I left one box open with all my pedals, and I sold so many, I had almost $1,500. And then clothes, you know, doing all the donating for Harvey and stuff, and just trying to give water and milk to people, you know, because I'd come back from Dallas, and I was able to shop, and a lot of the stores were out of water and milk, and people who have babies. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Been moving to Dallas, and since the last video I posted, you know, we had gone to Dallas, we got stuck in Dallas, the hurricane, all that stuff came back, and just started moving, boxing, and now we're here, and now I'm here. So we'll be back with more videos weekly like we were before. It just took me about 2 or 3 weeks to get fully situated with my apartment and the house, and get everything set up the way I wanted it, and I feel really comfortable with how my studio is now. It looks the same because this is the way I like it set up. So anyways, you know, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be here with you guys. Tell me what you think about this guitar. Have you picked up a Classic Vibe yet? And what about Native? Are you still rocking Native? I ended up buying it. I have Native, and I love it. It's amazing. So that's been this video, guys. I really enjoyed being back here. I'm glad to be here with you guys. I really missed y'all. And give me a thumbs up and give me a like if you like. And tell me what you've been up to, man. I missed you guys. Rock on. I'll catch you guys next weekend. And maybe we'll make another video about this guitar or one of these other ones. Rock on, guys.